Welcome to the NSIC Spotlight, the voice of the NSIC student athletes, powered by gpac. gpac, from people and companies. I'm your host, Nick Corder, Assistant Commissioner at the Northern Sun. Today, we are joined by the back-to-back NSIC Offensive Player of the Week, Kenzie Foley of the St. Cloud State Volleyball Team. Kenzie, thanks for joining us on Spotlight.
Yes, thank you for having me.
You've been around the league for a while, but let's start off with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, obviously, like you said, I'm Kenzie Foley. I'm a fifth year senior here at St. Cloud State University in my COVID year, double majoring in finance and statistics. I am originally from Northwest Iowa, specifically Sergeant Bluff, Iowa, about 5 hours from St. Cloud, and I'm an outside hitter.
All right. Iowa native, what brought you to St. Cloud State University?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is the coaching staff here. They were amazing when I first met them. And then you add to the fact that it was a program on the rise at the time when I first committed. So they were always kind of in that middle half of the conference and not hitting all those goals earlier on. I wanted to be a part of something and hopefully potentially have the opportunity of being an impact player for St. Cloud State, and kind of make history as I'm here. You add to the fact when I was on my visit and some volleyball players were taking me on my campus tour. They were saying hi to people across campus with their names. So I think seeing that the culture on campus was great, not only between athletes to athletes, but also athletes to classmates that they have. I think that was a huge thing for me where I could make friends not only on the team, but also off.
Well, definitely making an impact at St. Cloud State. You guys are ranked fifth in the nation. You're 14-2 overall, 8-0 in the NSIC. You're a four-time NSIC Player of the Week this season and the AVCA National Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. Not a bad start for you and the Huskies.
Yeah, it was great. We started off our season obviously with a 100% losing record, lost our first match. I think that was kind of a gut punch to all of us. Knew that we had to obviously work hard, being in California and playing against such good California teams and teams around there. Um, Knew coming into that we got to make a change. Being uncomfortable, put in uncomfortable situations earlier on was really good for us. Again, losing again in Michigan, going into conference, we knew that we're going to get everyone's best game. Being in the top 25, that's kind of what you always kind of expect. Being St. Cloud State as well, and having a couple good back-to-back years where we're being pretty good in the conference, knowing that we're going to get everyone's best game, and we got to hopefully give them our best game as well. So knowing that we're a good team, trusting ourselves to make plays when we need to make them.
Only three seniors on this year's team. Talk about your teammates and what makes this year's team special.
Yeah, I know you got to start off with the bench first. And not only are they bringing a ton of energy for us come game days, but also talking about uncomfortable situations. When it's our starting lineup that you're seeing on a box score versus the maybe players who you're not seeing on a box score in practice, they're doing a great job at pushing us as starters, so that when we're in those uncomfortable situations in games, we know how to take them head on and run with them. Then you go into our starting lineup. Sam Zimmerman, who's now on the right side, coming off a middle position last year. She's doing a phenomenal job putting balls away for us, blocking some very successful outside hitters in our conference. Ella Thompson, who's getting her first start as a Husky, is doing a phenomenal job at killing the ball and also being very physical at the net for us. Hannah Bruskowitz coming off a great true freshman year. She's picking up right where she left off. Shelby Kim, getting a bulk of our serve receive attempts. A lot of teams are picking on her in serve receive. She's keeping us in system and making sure that she's putting not only herself but also the other hitters who are up front with her in really great positions to put the ball away. And Barron, who's doing an amazing job again as our 5-1 setter. She's putting up a great second ball, and I think from last year to this year, she's also gotten a lot better at defense. So she's helping us extend rallies and win more points. And then you got to go to Keely Kirshner, who has been doing a phenomenal job as well, digging up balls. She's the second most serve receive attempts on our team. We get questions a lot, kind of why Keely isn't maybe getting some awards or some recognition, but she's doing such a great job, not only as a leader, but also on a box score at putting us in really great positions. So she's getting less opportunities to dig balls. And at the end of the day, um, she's a really great teammate and a really good leader out there for us. And I definitely personally look to her for a lot of help when I'm struggling.
Coming off a great weekend at wins at Augustana and at Wayne State. That Wayne State match, a 3-2 thriller in Wayne, America. The Rice Rowdies out in full force. Two huge runs in that match. The first one, down 2-1 in the fourth. You go on a 12-0 run to force a fifth set. What happened during that run?
I think I can speak for the whole team and also the coaching staff. Shelby Kim did a phenomenal job from the service line during that run. I think she ended up with 5 aces during that run. Also, not only the aces, but she's also putting Wayne in an uncomfortable situation. Maybe if they're not necessarily in system, it makes our job a lot easier to put up a good block and dig around it. You also talk about the fact during that run we're super low air. So we're not beating ourselves. We're not being Wayne's best point scorers. And at the end of the day, when you stay clean on your side and you're also being able to put the ball away and have Shelby Kim back there serving bullets, you put yourself in a really great spot to get that huge run.
That next huge run came when St. Cloud State was down 12-10 in the fifth set. After timeout, you go on a 4-0 run to get back into it and eventually take the set 18-16. What was said during that timeout that helped change the tide?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about kind of how we were starting to play timid. In a fifth set, you're talking about again an uncomfortable situation you're being put in, especially down 2-0. But at the end of the day, Wayne's a really good team. They put up a really great block. They're very physical at the net. You add to the fact they have great defenders behind their block. So knowing that we can't just roll shot balls, we got to stay aggressive, put balls in great spots, either put a lot of pace on it or use their block to our advantage, hitting high off of it so that we're able to score those points and make those big plays.
Coach Bragelman has built a national power at St. Cloud State. You referenced it early. What is it like to play for him, and what makes him such a successful coach?
Yeah, Chad does a great job at the recruiting process. He kind of what you see is what you get with him. So he's the same person. I think it's been, wow, 7 years ago now. When I first met him, he's the same coach that I met in my recruiting process that I have now 5 years down the line in college. You add to the fact that he's got a great coaching staff under him as well. You got Coach Marcy, who has done a phenomenal job. She's was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year at Minnesota when she was there. Jacob Voss is our assistant. He knows a ton of volleyball. All of them have very high volleyball IQ. They complement each other super well. I think one of the big things about all three coaches and coaching staffs is that not only do they know that we're their athletes at the end of the day, but we're also students. And then even beyond that, we're people outside of it. They constantly check in on us mentally, make sure we're doing okay, both on the court, off the court, and in our personal lives. And I think when you have a team who trusts their coach and is able to go talk to their coaches and just talk about problems that maybe are arising in their life, you cause for a really good team, and it's that comfortability level that we really see in our gym.
You've seen many successes, both individual and team achievements. Does any one match or moment or achievement stand out above the rest of them?
Yeah, for matches, I would say 2 years back in the NCAA tournament at Wayne, when we beat Wayne and to make it to the round of 16. That game, they always bring a really great crowd who's really loud. Not only that is it's kind of a home game for me, I consider it, because it's pretty close to my hometown. So I get a lot of friends and family at those matches. So not only am I playing in front of them, but also I get to be in such an arena that's super loud. Wayne's crowd again, super, super loud crowd that they got. And you can tell that during that game was just a battle back and forth, and winning that and making it to the Sweet 16. I think that was the furthest we've made it in many, many years. So being a part of that again, making history and um, having it be close to home in front of my friends and family was definitely a big one for me. Achievement wise, obviously, I'm gonna have to go National Player of the Year last year. Obviously, there's 300 plus schools in Division Two. One player each year gets that award, and I remember when Chad and Marcy told me, I was honestly at a loss of words. I didn't know really what to say. Just because you're excited, you're kind of like, wow, what? Because I didn't really expect it, to be honest with you. But having that be recognized for something that you do individually, obviously it's a team sport, and at the end of the day, you want a national title, a ring on your finger, and a ring on everyone else's finger. But being recognized for those little things that you're doing is definitely something that I would exchange for anything.
You still got 10 matches left in the NSIC season. What are the team and personal goals to finish out the year?
I think every team would say this, but I would say obviously 10-0. Not losing conference this year would be kind of huge for us. I think it'd be kind of an eye opener. Realize that we are as good as we can be, and we are a good team and a force to be reckoned with. And I think that's my own goal, and everyone else's goal is put our best foot forward and hope for the best at each match.
And the final question for you, what is the best advice you've received during your athletic career?
Yeah, I went to the national team open program for the USA team. I think it was this past February. And I was sitting there listening to Jordan Larson talk, and obviously she's a very decorated athlete. She mentioned how she had heard a quote from someone that stuck with her, and ever since she said it, it stuck with me. It's a quote that's how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're gonna go to practice half-heartedly, you're gonna go to games half-heartedly. If you go to somewhere and you empty the tank, you're gonna empty the tank for everything. So just making sure that each opportunity, whether that's even on the court or off the court, putting your best foot forward, and you put yourself in a good spot in that regard of taking games and winning them.
Excellent. Some excellent advice right there. Thank you, Kenzie. That's going to wrap up this week's show. Thanks again to our sponsor, gpac. Kenzie, best of luck to you and the Huskies the rest of the season.
Yeah, thank you.